minus 9 minutes. Minus 8 minutes. Minus 7 minutes. Minus 6 minutes. Minus 5 minutes. minus 3 minutes. T minus 2 minutes. T minus 1 minute. Stand by.
How about that?
Oh, this is going to be so much fun, everybody. That is a guarantee. Welcome to the RP Show, coming at you hot. Yakking it up on the old Yak Box here, Game Plus Television. It is your affable and very bouncy host, RP. Coming up in moments, Kevin the Medium will be joining us from Mexico as he winds up his Mexican vacation. But he's been good enough to join us to talk sports. How's it going, everybody? Coming up in hour two, former Philadelphia Eagles quarterbacks coach, Winnipeg Blue Bombers head coach, and current commissioner of the Continental Football League, Mike Kelly. He'll be with us to talk ball for all. But Kevin joins us. Have you taken off that BC Lions jersey for 3 weeks in Mexico, Kev, that you're wearing every time that you come on, or not?
Well, it was funny because I didn't have it on when I first sat down, and I went, hold the phone. Not that I'm superstitious, but I've been on your show every week that the Lions have won in the last, 7 in a row now? And I've always worn this. So I had to jump up quick, go get it, and put it on.
Okay, well, it looks good, and don't get too close. For anybody watching in Mexico, Kevin stinks. As basically is what he's saying is he's been wearing the BC Lions jersey for 7 consecutive weeks. Okay, let's go, everybody. Baseball's over, so we're opening with the big story, new topics in the Quick Six. We're opening with hockey today because tomorrow is a Football Friday. Kev will be with us for that. It is the big story. Even ESPN's talking about the NHL now has a 900 goal club. Charter member Alex Ovechkin, of course. The Washington Star pushed his record total to a new level Wednesday night, scoring against the St. Louis Blues to reach number 900 on a backhand off a Jacob Chikrin rebound. The bench cleared to celebrate the 40-year-old's accomplishment while the Blues goalie, Jordan Bennington, reached into the net, pulled the puck out, tucked the milestone puck into his pants. Okay, so Kev, here's the thing. I was actually watching the game. I was totally unaware that Ovi's next goal would be his 900th. As you know, I watched the game with a sound down. So it was like, Ovi's celebrating, and then they got the camera on Bennington, and the linesman's like, hey, I knew exactly because I've been in that position. Sometimes the puck gets caught up in your gear, and the linesman was like, hand it over. You're laughing because did you catch the highlights down there in Mexico? Do they have ESPN in your Airbnb?
I did. I caught the highlights actually on my phone, and you could see him. He's like, "No, I'm not giving it back," and he shoves it into his pants. And I'm just like, "Seriously, dude, give the puck up."
Well, here's the thing, because you're Vancouver Canucks number 2, BC Lions number 1. But here's the thing that everybody can talk about is this Bennington thing. Again, I didn't even need to have the sound up to know exactly what was going on. And here's my question for you. And everybody else, I almost thought about this as a poll question, but I'm like, I don't want to really poke at a wound here, but should Jordan Bennington be in any way disciplined for, let's be honest, stealing the puck? I mean, let's get down to it. What was he going to do with that thing? Clearly try to sell it. Like, we don't make enough money, Benner. Like, my thing is, no, it's harmless. It's funny. We had a guy with my team, Kyle Calder, went on played like a lot of games in the NHL, the Blackhawks and LA Kings. And he used to always just grab the puck on the ice cap, not after a goal or anything, but stick it in his glove, take it to the bench, and then just sit and laugh when the linesmen are looking around. Where's the puck? It was funny. And then he would go put it on the thing. So, I mean, I don't think Bennington should be disciplined for this, but I'm not Gary Bettman. So what do you think?
Nah. I would be shocked if he was disciplined for this. I don't know. I didn't see him give the puck back. Does he still have the puck? Where is the puck?
Well, the linesman stood beside him. He's like, hand it over. And it's hilarious because I mean, you think you can actually get away with something on a hockey ice, 200 by 85. Yeah, all the cameras were on Ovi, but there's going to be some camera on Bennington. So they knew that he had the puck. So I think it's hilarious. But this is not the main poll question, but this is a secondary poll question, everybody, and I want the viewers' take. Do you think Alex Ovechkin will hit 1,000 goals? Because he's at 900 now, and I put this on our Instagram. You can vote on it. The results are like 50-50. It sounds crazy, but I thought anybody hitting Gretzky's 894 was impossible. When Ovi wasn't even at 800, I said to Alan May, the Capitals TV analyst, do you think he's going to catch Gretzky? He's like, oh, yeah. And at that time, he was like 3 years out. So I don't know. Do you think he'll hit 1,000?
That's another 100 goals. Like, how many more years does he have another 2-3 years in him? Who knows? If he could play another 3 years, that's doable, isn't it?
Yes, it's very doable with the way. And the thing was, if you saw his celebration last night, just like when he scored his 894th, it's like he scored his first. So the exuberance is there. Clearly the health is there. I'm inclined to say, yeah, he's going to hit 1,000 goals. Anyways, moving on because we go fast here. And spoiler alert, coming back after the break, we'll get deep into all the CFL news. But point number 2 is NFL. The Las Vegas Raiders will be in Denver tonight to take on the AFC West leading Broncos on the Thursday nighter. The 2-6 Raiders look to snap a 2-game slide, coming off an overtime loss to Jacksonville. Meanwhile, the 7-2 Broncos have won 6 in a row. And that's the focus of the game tonight. I'm not going to ask you, Kevin, your thoughts on Thursday Night Football tonight, but it's just this. Can the Raiders, in this divisional game, slow down the red-hot Denver Broncos? The Raiders are clearly regarded as one of the biggest disappointments this season in the National Football League. We all know that. So there's not a lot of intrigue tonight as far as the standings go. Can the Raiders slow down the Broncos? But I'm going to spend far more time on this in hour 2 when we go to the Silver State Sports and Entertainment Network across Nevada. Actually, that's where the Raiders live. But following Tuesday's NFL trade deadline, I'm going to examine this later once Kevin adjourns. What does it mean that the Jets have sold everybody off and they're entering another rebuild again, and that the Colts are going for it? What does it mean? Okay, because now everything's kind of sifted and settled down following Tuesday. What does it mean for my Dallas Cowboys at 3-5-1? They haven't given up on the season, but what does it really mean? It brings us to the poll question today. As you see, I'm wearing my Arizona Cardinals shirt. picked up in Phoenix, Arizona, the home of the Cardinals. Kyler Murray's going to be out for 4 weeks with a foot injury. They say he may have started his last game. This was the number 1 overall pick in 2019, Kyler Murray. The Cardinals just went into Dallas on Monday Night Football with a backup in Jacoby Brissett and won. So the poll question is, would you trade for Kyler Murray for your NFL team? And I'm not talking fantasy. If you were an NFL general manager, would you trade for Kyler Murray? And last I saw, over 90% of respondents saying no. And I know you won't have a big opinion on this, Kev, but I do, because I spent a lot of time in Arizona, been around the Cardinals a lot. And Kyler Murray just last year, entering his 6th season, goes, I'm ready to lead the Cardinals. Great, Kyler. You've been with the team for 6 years. You've just finally dawned on you. So anyways, looks like he's on his way out of Arizona. Would you acquire him? 90% plus saying no, they would not. Anyways, still more to come. More NHL, CFL, a little NBA. We'll be right back. We're live across the Game Plus television network, YouTube Live, podcast, and 1700 Mission Radio.
This is a test pattern. This is what happens when your video company screws up. You don't want your clients to see a screw-up. Hire a company that only does video, so it won't screw up. Then, people who give you money will see less of these and more of you. Skycron.com/live.
Looking for a new ride without the big city pressure? Come to Western Dodge in Moose Jaw, where you'll find an unbeatable lineup of Ram trucks, Jeep SUVs, Dodge Muscle, and Chrysler family rides. With knowledgeable staff, great prices, and that friendly Moose Jaw touch, you'll drive away with confidence. Western Dodge, big selection, small town service. Visit us today or browse online at westerndodge.ca.
Do you worry about how much someone drinks?
Do you feel angry or depressed most of the time? Do you feel neglected or unloved?
Do you feel that if the drinker loved you, she or he would stop drinking?
If you answered yes to any of these questions, you are not alone.
Not everyone trapped by alcohol is an alcoholic.
Families and friends are suffering too.
Al-Anon and
Alateen can help. Call 1-866-200-0223 or visit alanon.org/help.
Sports fans, daytime sports talk gets a whole lot better weekdays at noon Eastern with The Rod Pedersen Show. Talking sports daily with A-list guests, and the best part is, you can always join the discussion as we're the most interactive talk show on television. Broadcasting from coast to coast from the biggest events like Super Bowl, Stanley Cup Final, Grey Cup, and more, there's nothing like it in the game today. The Rod Pedersen Show, daily at noon Eastern and 10 p.m. Pacific on Game Plus Network.
Business owners and marketers. Okay, we know you think we're pretty cool. That's why we want you to share in the coolness factor. Partner with the Rod Pedersen Show and market your business every weekday to sports lovers just like yourself. Take advantage of our many cost-effective commercial and promotional opportunities. Tell the world about your business. Yes, the world. Thanks to Game Plus TV and the Rod Pedersen Digital Network. Contact us today and find out how you can be a part of Canada's fastest growing sports talk show, The Rod Pedersen Show.
Famoso, Italian pizzeria and bar. Taste, savor, share. Famoso, the spirit of Italian. Come in, enjoy.
You have a vision, a big idea, but how do you turn ambition into absolute impact? It starts with connection, booking top-tier speakers and executing seamless events. That's the EMJ difference. We position your brand where it belongs, through powerful advertising, strategic media, and promotion that drives results. At EMJ Marketing, we don't just promote, we partner. Your growth, our mission.
RP show continues. Chop, chop. It moves fast. I'm here in the Florida studio where it's a little chilly. Kevin is in the Mexico studio for a couple of more days, but he's coming back to the Great White North on Saturday. And let's move along. I will tell you that hour one and our CFL picks are brought to you by Pump Jack's Steakhouse and Saloon, Pump Jack's Cathedral, Pump Jack's Weyburn. Come early, stay late at the place where friends meet. A great place to watch Saturday's CFL Division Finals is Pump Jack's. Have the coconut shrimp, everybody. It's succulent. It's got the RP show stamp of approval. Okay, to the Canadian Football League, which is Kevin's true passion, and that's why he's on. Before we get to the division finals this weekend, point 3A, the Ottawa Redblacks hired Ryan Dinwiddie on Wednesday as their new head coach and general manager. Caught everybody off guard. Dinwiddie, who led the Toronto Argonauts to 2 Grey Cup titles over 5 seasons, takes over the coaching duties from Bobby Dice, who was relieved of his duties after Ottawa posted a 4-14 record this season to miss the CFL playoffs. We can get into all that and what it means and how he got the job and all the rest. Our guy, AJ Jakubic, is at the news conference, which is going on right now in Ottawa. Dinwiddie has said he's been given full control over the roster. He's going to live in Ottawa year-round, and he's also going to be the offensive coordinator. And I'll tell you what, there will be alarm bells going off with the old-school football people saying, that's a lot. Chris Jones tried to do that in Edmonton, and it didn't work. To be a coordinator, the head coach, and the general manager. Now, listen, Chris Jones is a winner. Ryan Dinwiddie is a winner. But let's just walk it back. When I saw this yesterday, I was like, I'm sure you were too.
I actually had to check to see where it was coming from as far as I saw it on Twitter. And I was like, is this a parody account? Like, this has to be a joke. But now I guess the question is there going to be a dominoes effect? Is this going to be a huge coach roulette happening in the CFL? Is this just the first domino to fall?
Well, there always is. So, yeah. Sorry to cut you off.
Then? Who goes to Toronto? Where do they come from? Do they move someone up? It's going to be interesting.
You know what's funny that you say that? And let's get everybody's opinion, not just yours and mine. The Western Dodge text line is open, 902-518-3033. From trucks to SUVs, Western Dodge has what you're looking for. Visit them or online at westerndodge.ca. There was this moratorium on these types of things during Grey Cup week, but let's extend it to the playoffs. There's no focus on the games this weekend because of what Ottawa went and did here with Ryan Dinwiddie. And by the way, is that a problem? We just had Mark Hebscher on the air on Tuesday talking about the rise and ruin of sports media, his new book, Madness, The Rise and Ruin of Sports Media. This is a new time. And so more than anything, is it bad that, like, I'm not talking yet about these games this weekend, which we should because of what Ottawa went and did here. So I'm going to go out and say that's not a bad thing, but go ahead.
I was kind of shocked that it was allowed to happen prior to the Grey Cup. When you said there was a moratorium during Grey Cup week, I thought that extended for the whole entire playoffs, which would make sense because you want the focus. If you're the CFL brass, you want that focus on the games. But you're right. Here we are, a few days away from the Western and Eastern finals, and we're talking about a coaching change. It's bizarre. And not just a coaching change, but like a massive, like Dinwiddie is.
Hang on. There seems to be a weather system moving over Mexico. So, hey, Kev, you just broke up there. You were going great. But basically, what we caught was that this is a massive, earth-shaking movement across the Canadian Football League, which it really is, that Ryan Dinwiddie would leave the Toronto Argonauts. Yeah. Now, I'm not stupid. I see the buzz, as you do too. I mean, you're deeper into the CFL Twitter world than I am, that Mike O'Shea will head to Toronto and to be the next head coach of the Argonauts. So, again, to walk that back, let me put it this way. As a guy who's been around this a long time, if Mike O'Shea wants to leave Winnipeg to go to Toronto, despite just signing an extension not that long ago, the Bombers will let him go to Toronto. Okay, and that's where Mike O'Shea belongs. He's from there, Guelph, I believe. He's an Argonauts great. He's in the Hall of Fame as a player. So again, if Mike O'Shea wants to leave Winnipeg for Toronto, and let's be honest, what the hell more could he do there? He might as well go to Toronto. Then he will be the next coach of the Toronto Argonauts. The Bombers, because this reminds me of 2007. This is how old I am, but we had just won the Grey Cup, and within a week, 2007 with the Rough Riders, the report comes out that Ken Austin was being wooed, our head coach, by Ole Miss, his alma mater. And he had 2 years left on his contract. And I remember saying to Jim Hobson, our president, I'm like, you're going to let him go? And Jim goes, it's why? Am I going to make him stay? He wants to go to Oxford. He's done everything here he could. He won a Grey Cup in his first. I got to let him go. Would Winnipeg not look at it the same way? I'm sure they would.
Oh yeah. Do you want someone to be there that doesn't want to be there? Of course, you're going to let them go. And then if that happens, then what? It's going to be an interesting offseason to watch who ends up where and how. I love this kind of stuff. It's what keeps me awake at night going through Twitter.
Yeah. Jeff the Stamps fan writes in, because I have not read up on this. Jeff the Stamps fan says, O'Shea is not under contract for 2026. I was not aware of that. Well, then what are we sitting here talking for? Then Mike O'Shea will be the next head coach of the Toronto Argonauts. He played with Pinball Clemens. They're both great guys. I can't see there being anything nefarious there in terms of their relationship. So I think we can close the book on all of this. Now, back to, is this too much for Dinwiddie to handle in Ottawa? I will tell you, if anybody can do it, it's Ryan Dinwiddie. But I'll say it again. Chris Jones failed miserably at it in Toronto, and it wasn't because he wasn't any good at any of one of the three things he was doing. It's just too much. There's not enough hours in the day to be the GM, the head coach, and the coordinator. There just isn't. Okay, it's not about whether you're good at any one of those things. Go ahead.
I look at coaches and I'm like, how can you be a coach and a GM? You're your own boss at that point. A GM is a full-time job. A coach is a full-time job. The OC should be a full-time job. And now you're making 1 in 3. I don't know. I don't know if this is going to work. But like you say, if anybody can do it, can Dinwiddie do it? We'll see. Time will tell.
He's, as John Frenzy would say, and you never had the great benefit of meeting him, but he would say, the Hall of Fame writer broadcaster, he's a winner all the way, Ryan Dinwiddie. It's just, unless they can invent a 36-hour clock, which I don't think they're doing anytime soon, this won't work. Gary in Winnipeg writes in and says, sorry, Dinwiddie is making a big mistake taking on all 3 jobs. Can you think of one person in CFL history who was successful while holding all 3 positions? FYI, O'Shea is from North Bay. My bad. I don't know my Ontario geography at all. Yeah, I do know quite a few. John Huffnagel was head coach, general manager, OC. Wally Buono was general manager, head coach, and defensive coordinator. Yeah, but these are special people. And I know, Wally really well and Huff well enough that over the course of their careers, they said it got to be too much. For however this business has changed, I don't know because I'm not in those offices, but it has changed to the degree that you can't do all 3. Now, again, Ryan Dinwiddie is going to try it. But it has been done by 2 of the winningest guys of all time. But we're talking about very, very special people. Ryan Dinwiddie is special. I don't know if he's that special. You know what I mean? I guess we're going to find out, Kev.
You brought up Huffnagel and Wally Buono, 2 of the icons in the CFL. Is Dinwiddie mentioned in that same breath? I don't think so. I don't think we can mention that name in those 2. I think it's a mistake. I don't think it's going to work the way they think it's going to work.
When I saw this reported by AJ on Twitter here this morning, I was like, not sure I like that. From the viewers, BW from Edmonton says, by handling all 3 positions in Ottawa, is his coaching salary cap higher? No. They don't do that. This is a way to make more money yourself. It's a more way to spread the money amongst your guys on your staff and gals now. But the cap, they don't move the cap up for anybody, right? You need to find a way to fit under that. That's how this all happened to be a thing. Jeff goes on to say Dinwiddie learned from the best. Yeah, he was on the staff in Calgary, but Ryan will do it his own way. I'm sure he picked some things up from Wally, and for that matter, Dave Dickinson, but Dinner is the guy that will do it my way. He's the Frank Sinatra of football coaching. Blake writes in, he says, Rod, what do you think about the commissioner canceling the State of the League address with the fans? Well, guys, we are in a new era. At some point, I will be dead by the time you get it through your thick skulls, but nothing should surprise you anymore. And what do I think of it? My first glance is that he doesn't want to take, Stu Joe doesn't want to take questions from the fans because these guys, they don't, it's different now. Can I just say it's different now? It's different now.
Is it that he doesn't care what the fans think anymore? I don't think that's it. I think it's just, you're right. It's business. And does any other league out there take questions from the fans in their address of the league? I don't think there is. I've never seen Bettman take a question from a fan. So is it a big deal?
No. As they say, don't cry because it's over. Smile because it happened. We had a great era. I believe Mark Cohan started that. And by the way, it's not just a Stuart Johnston thing. Like, look at us. We did this show. We started it 1,612 years ago. All right, sorry, it feels like it. 1,612 episodes ago. And people were saying to me, oh, are you going to do open line? No. I did it for whatever it was, 15, 20 years, and that took years off my life. Let's go to line 3. God knows what you're going to get. Now I can filter it all.
There's going to be a trade?
Yeah, through text and, more like, how come the ride is lost? Grow up. Get a life. Day after day after day. So this is not a indictment of Stuart Johnston not wanting to face the fans. It's just, it's a decision. Times are different. Be glad that you used to be able to do it. That's all. Because you just don't know. He seemed very uncomfortable to me coming on this show when he did 5 days after the rule changes were announced. And I felt like I did say, Stu, I'm not going to nail you to the wall here. Chill out. It's just a different time. Go ahead.
I think he was expecting you to nail him to the wall. I think people got in his ear and said, be careful going on that Rod show. It might be really tough on you. They're going to ask some tough questions. That's not you. You would never do that.
Never have done that. I'd like to know if somebody had told them that, then they don't know me. And I'm, and for the idiots who came after me for the questions that I asked, if I'd asked the questions that you wanted me to, I would have never got the commissioner again. And secondly, if you were sitting in this chair, I guarantee you wouldn't have had the sack to ask the questions that you wanted me to ask. So just worry about yourself. Again, it's a different time. Nelson, our VP of Sim Events, writes in, he says, Fans State of the League was a dog and pony show for fans to trot out the same old questions about a video game, TV contracts, and expansion. It had become dry. Blake says, I will admit, it's pretty boring. It's the same questions over and over, year after year. Well, there you go, you guys. You just answered your own question. What the hell do you need me for?
Yep.
Well, talk about the actual games when we come back. Nobody's got to. Is it a good or bad thing that we're not even talking about it? It's all started on the Dinwiddie stuff. We'll be back in a moment, everybody. I told you it was going to be a lot of fun for 2 hours today. Be right back here on Game Plus TV.
Country's hottest party is coming. James Barker Band, Bud Light Buckle Up Tour 2025. Live across Canada with special guests Ryan and Rory. Yeah, let's keep it November 20th, Temple Garden Center. Tickets on sale now at Temple Garden Center box office or online at zasktix.ca. James Barker Band Live.
Sports fans, daytime sports talk gets a whole lot better weekdays at noon Eastern with The Rod Pedersen Show. Talking sports daily with A-list guests, and the best part is, you can always join the discussion as we're the most interactive talk show on television. Broadcasting from coast to coast from the biggest events like Super Bowl, Stanley Cup Final, Grey Cup, and more, there's nothing like it in the game today. The Rod Pedersen Show, daily at noon Eastern and 10 p.m. Pacific on Game Plus Network.
You have a vision, a big idea, but how do you turn ambition into absolute impact? It starts with connection. Booking top-tier speakers and executing seamless events. That's the EMJ difference.
We position your brand where it belongs, through powerful advertising, strategic media, and promotion that drives results. At EMJ Marketing, we don't just promote your rebel, we partner. Your growth, our mission.
Business owners and marketers. Okay, we know you think we're pretty cool. That's why we want you to share in the coolness factor. Partner with the Rod Pedersen Show and market your business every weekday to sports lovers just like yourself. Take advantage of our many cost-effective commercial and promotional opportunities. Tell the world about your business. Yes, the world. Thanks to Game Plus TV and the Rod Pedersen Digital Network. Contact us today and find out how you can be a part of Canada's fastest-growing sports talk show, The Rod Pedersen Show.
Hiring a video company shouldn't be complicated. Click, pay, done. Skycron.com/Regina. This is a test pattern. This is what happens when your video company screws up. You don't want your clients to see a screw-up. Hire a company that only does video, so it won't screw up. Then, people who give you money will see less of these and more of you. Skycron.com/live.
Sports fans, daytime sports talk gets a whole lot better weekdays at noon Eastern with The Rod Pedersen Show. Talking sports daily with A-list guests, and the best part is, you can always join the discussion as we're the most interactive talk show on television. Broadcasting from coast to coast from the biggest events like Super Bowl, Stanley Cup Final, Grey Cup, and more, there's nothing like it in the game today. The Rod Pedersen Show, daily at noon Eastern and 10 p.m. Pacific on Game Plus Network.
RP show continues. It's what we like to call the Canadian Hour. And with that, let's do the junior hockey report for the Mad Greek Eatery in Moose Jaw. Pavel McKenzie scored twice. Mathieu Lajoie had a goal and 2 helpers. And the Moose Jaw Warriors earned a 6-2 victory over the Calgary Hitmen last night at the Rempel Temple. Thanks to everybody who showed up at the Mad Greek before the game and after the game and told Johnny you treat us, the Mad Greek, that you saw us talking about him on the show. Whether it's pizza, ribs, or authentic Greek favorites, make it the Mad Greek Eatery. Open until 11 p.m. in downtown Moose Jaw, Saskatchewan. And we're also brought to you by Suds Full Service Car Wash. Fuel your fleet's finesse with Suds Regina's unbeatable cleaning packages. They'll shine like new every time. Visit sudsregina.com. Okay, Kev, to the picks. I've pretty much made mine in multiple places already. I'll say it again. The Eastern Final in the Canadian Football League is Montreal at Hamilton on Saturday. Al's favored by 1.5 on the road. I'm taking Montreal. And in the West, Saskatchewan favored by 3.5 at home over the BC Lions. I'll take the Rough Riders. You're going to take the Lions because you always do. So as we do the picks here for Pump Jacks, all that's left is who do you think wins between Montreal and Hamilton? Quite frankly, that's a very fascinating game.
Well, I think that could be the game of the week if we want to pick a game of the two to watch. I think the Montreal Hamilton game is going to be amazing. I read your article where you picked Montreal, and for the exact same reasons, I'm picking Hamilton. So we're, for the first time, I think all year, we've actually picked opposite teams all the way through.
What were my reasons? I can't. To be honest, that's a Canadian press article. I didn't write it. And to be honest, the Canadian press picked Hamilton. I went in and changed it to Montreal because listen, their quarterback's never lost. So how do you pick against Montreal? He's never lost. It's pretty simple to me.
As Jake and I were talking about on our podcast, the Hughes Sports Podcast, it's the old grizzled vet against the rookie. And if you want to call Alexander a rookie, and I guess we still could call him a rookie, it's going to be one of those old versus young. Who's going to win it? I think Bo's going to shine. I think this is where he shines the biggest when the spotlight's on him, and he's going to show why he's been Bo Levi for all these years.
Well, Jeff, the Stamps fan, can confirm or deny, but I think Bo's 2-3 in Grey Cups, if I'm not mistaken. At least 2-2.
Yeah, I think that's right.
But Nelson, our VP of Sim Events, writes in, he says, he simulates the games. He says the computer simulation has Sask beating BC 27-24 and Montreal beating Hamilton 28-21 in 10,000 simulations. But if you're going to use that about Bo Levi and the old dog, old bull, young bull scenario, then why would you not use the same scenario for Trevor Harris beating WestJet, Nathan Rourke?
I knew you were going to bring that up, and I don't have a good answer, to be blunt. Obviously, I'm taking BC. I would never say I'm taking a team other than BC when we're playing. I think Rourke needs to have a way better game than Calgary. He did not look sharp against Calgary, though. I shouldn't say he. The whole offense didn't look sharp against that Calgary defense. So, and they're coming into Winnipeg or into Saskatchewan and playing the hardest to play against defenses this season. So they really need to protect Rourke, and they've got to make those plays downfield, which we didn't do against the Stamps. Lucky, I'll be the first to admit it. We got darn lucky to beat the Stamps.
It's playoff time. All that matters is having one more point than your opponent. It's not college football. It's not about style points. But you're right. I mean, you wear orange goggles. I don't wear green goggles. I've taken them off. But Saskatchewan has the best defense in the league. They have the best home record of teams still alive in these playoffs. So, again, I got Montreal winning the game and Saskatchewan winning the game, setting up a Montreal-Saskatchewan Grey Cup in Winnipeg. By the way, with the people that are commenting with topics off what we're talking about, I'll get to those after the break once Kevin leaves. Arlen Bruce writes in regarding, frankly, the biggest news, and it's about Ryan Dinwiddie going to jumping ship, pardon the pun, from Toronto to Ottawa as coach and GM. Arlen Bruce says, "G'day, RP and Kev. I believe Coach Dinwiddie can be successful. He's a pretty intelligent football guy. I picked his brain back in Montreal. He's got it, bro. Only time will tell." Well, I always relate the sports to what we do here in the media. Like when I became voice of the Riders in '99, there really was no internet. All I was doing was calling the games, reading morning sports, and doing a talk show. Really wasn't that hard on my time. You fast forward to 2010, 2015, you've got the internet, you got Facebook, you got Twitter, now you got TikTok, you got Instagram, you got social media, writing the columns. It became not enough time for me as one guy. And it put me in the funny farm, obviously, because they refused to give me any help to do that. But that's how I relate with Dinwiddie, how the old-time coaches tell me it's just changed. The Wallies, the Huffs, you can't do that anymore. That was just to be coach and GM, let alone a coordinator. Like, I understand. What is it? What do you think? You're a football guy more than me. It's not putting together game plans, I wouldn't think. It's calling plays on game day. There's no way they could have time to be putting together game plans and specifically one-on-one coaching guys.
You better have some darn good assistants behind you, because like you said, if you're trying to run a one-man show now where you're trying to run all your social medias, write your articles, run the show, be the host of the show, you just can't do too much. It's just too much. So hoping he has some good support behind him, because if not, he's going to burn himself out real quick.
Yeah, and he's a young dad and all that, but one thing we've realized in this perilous, but you got to pick one. You're going to be a family guy, you're going to be a career guy. I've never seen one person do it both successfully. Never seen it. Regarding, is it bad that on the week of the division finals, we're sitting here talking about Ryan Dinwiddie jumping ship from Toronto to Ottawa? Nelson writes in, he says, it's a bad thing. LOL. He says the CFL struggles to talk about the narratives. They do a good job of hyping up the teams, but they don't create tantalizing player matchups. I don't know about all that. And I don't really care. I just feel like in the middle of the Stanley Cup final or the conference finals, you would not expect a move like this in the NHL or the NFL. I don't know. And again, it's just not my vibe anymore. It's something that the CFL, is the commissioner calling Ottawa going, what are you thinking? Announcing this now or making this move. Do you think that's a call that's happening?
Well, or did they make the call prior to and say, hey, look, this is what we're doing. We're going to announce this. Would they get approval of the head office? And if not, why not? That would be something I'd be looking at.
Regarding the people that are writing, I said people writing in about topics that we're not talking about. God bless Tony from Cochrane. He says, I don't mean to rush you, Rod, but I can't be here long today. Sorry, Tony, but we got to kind of keep it on our train here. All right, you understand that, right? Jeff in Toronto writes in and he says, as an Argos fan, they can have him. Oh, yeah, he's won us 2 Grey Cups. Let's kick his ass out the door. What the hell?
Come on.
Nelson says that's Nelson says that's because you get it, RP. That's why you feel that way. No, it's again the things that keep me up at night. It's like it used to be this way. And it's that rub. Kev's the same in what he does. It's like we used to do things one way and now we don't do them that way anymore. Is it right or is it wrong? We're not going to change it. You know what I mean? Like that's all. Jeff is saying, LOL, we will be okay. You'll be okay, especially if Mike O'Shea ends up as your next head coach, which you might as well announce that now. Are they going to wait till Grey Cup, Kev, to do that?
Wait till the Saturday before Grey Cup. Make that announcement.
Well, the Dinwiddie news completely usurped the division final talk, but we'll get more into those games tomorrow with Kev when you join us from Mexico for a final time. Thanks, Kev. Enjoy your time. Hola.
Hola. Have a great day, amigo.
We'll be back with everything else right after this. And Coach Mike Kelly coming up in hour 2. It's the RP Show live on Game Plus TV, YouTube, podcast, and Mission Radio.
Sports fans, daytime sports talk gets a whole lot better weekdays at noon Eastern with The Rod Pedersen Show. Talking sports daily with A-list guests, and the best part is, you can always join the discussion as we're the most interactive talk show on television. Broadcasting from coast to coast from the biggest events like Super Bowl, Stanley Cup Final, Grey Cup, and more, there's nothing like it in the game today. The Rod Pedersen Show, daily at noon Eastern and 10 p.m. Pacific on Game Plus Network.
Business owners and marketers. Okay, we know you think we're pretty cool. That's why we want you to share in the coolness factor. Partner with the Rod Pedersen Show and market your business every weekday to sports lovers just like yourself. Take advantage of our many cost-effective commercial and promotional opportunities. Tell the world about your business. Yes, the world. Thanks to Game Plus TV and the Rod Pedersen Digital Network. Contact us today and find out how you can be a part of Canada's fastest growing sports talk show, The Rod Pedersen Show.
Sports fans, daytime sports talk gets a whole lot better weekdays at noon Eastern with The Rod Pedersen Show. Talking sports daily with A-list guests, and the best part is, you can always join the discussion as we're the most interactive talk show on television. Broadcasting from coast to coast from the biggest events like Super Bowl, Stanley Cup Final, Grey Cup, and more, there's nothing like it in the game today. The Rod Pedersen Show, daily at noon Eastern and 10 p.m. Pacific on Game Plus Network.
This is a test pattern. This is what happens when your video company screws up. You don't want your clients to see a screw up. Hire a company that only does video, so it won't screw up. Then, people who give you money will see less of these and more of you. Skycron.com/live.
Business owners and marketers. Okay, we know you think we're pretty cool. That's why we want you to share in the coolness factor. Partner with the Rod Pedersen Show and market your business every weekday to sports lovers just like yourself. Take advantage of our many cost-effective commercial and promotional opportunities. Tell the world about your business. Yes, the world. Thanks to Game Plus TV and the Rod Pedersen Digital Network. Contact us today and find out how you can be a part of Canada's fastest growing sports talk show, The Rod Pedersen Show.
You have a vision, a big idea, but how do you turn ambition into absolute impact? It starts with connection. Booking top-tier speakers and executing seamless events. That's the EMJ difference. We position your brand where it belongs, Guy, through powerful advertising, strategic media, and promotion that drives results. At EMJ Marketing, we don't just promote, we partner. Your growth, our mission.
Hiring a video company shouldn't be complicated. Click, pay, done. Skycron.com/Regina.
All right, welcome back, everybody. Hope you CFL fans enjoyed the 30 solid minutes of CFL talk. There ain't nobody on national television across Canada talking as much as we do, but there are other sports going on as we move to the sports update for Ultimate Fan Zone, your home for jerseys, collectibles, and all the gear you need. Visit them today or shop online at ultimatefanzone.ca. To the hockey. Let's do that hockey. John Tavares snapped a tie in the third period, and the Toronto Maple Leafs beat Utah 5-3 Wednesday night for their third consecutive win in Calgary. Nazem Kadri scored a goal in his 1,000th NHL game, and Calgary beat Columbus 5-1. Tyler Bertuzzi scored 3 goals in the third period for his 4th career hattie, and Chicago beat Vancouver 5-2. Connor Bedard tucked an empty netter in a return to his hometown, his 7th. Now, Kevin the Medium's now gone. I've written here in all caps, are you worried about the Canucks? I mean, that's just the plight of the sports fan, right? It's the whole thing going on here, frankly, in Florida. The Panthers got spanked 7-3 in Anaheim the other night. They're sputtering. They're dead last in the Eastern Conference, the Florida Panthers. Worried. I had to do the Panthers show yesterday, Panthers and Lightning. I'm like, news flash, fans. You've been in the last 3 Stanley Cup finals and won the last 2. The odds are that you're not going to get back there again. So if you think anything below that, you're going to burn down the rink, you might want to check yourself before you wreck yourself. Yeah. Speaking of other sports, a home owned by Miami Heat coach Eric Spoelstra has been heavily damaged by a massive fire. Miami-Dade County fire officials say the blaze was reported early this morning. Spoelstra was not at home when the fire broke out. He and the Heat played in Denver last night, and their flight back to Miami landed at 5:11 a.m. Thank God nobody was home. Lionel Messi believes there's still more for him to accomplish in soccer. This is like the only time you'll hear soccer news on this show. Speaking at a business conference Wednesday, the Inter Miami star said he hasn't reflected on his legacy yet and plans to enjoy playing until retirement. Messi was the final speaker at the America Business Summit here in South Florida. He expressed gratitude for the warm welcome in Miami, where he's living for the first time. He joined Inter Miami in 2023 and signed a 3-year extension last month. That is your sports update, proudly presented by Ultimate Fan Zone in Moose Jaw. Get your game day gear in store or online at ultimatefanzone.ca. Okay. It's been so busy. I have not even checked the Western Dodge text line in a while. 902-518-3033. This is great. Gary from Winnipeg writes in, we're all big boys here. I think we can take it. He says, Kevin is 100 times better than Scruffy. The main thing is you watch them all. I haven't had ever as much viewer mail as I've had since we brought Scruffy on here on the reg. Half hate him, half love him. As Fred Flintstone says, and Joe Rockhead, he's just right for the party. I have absolutely zero problem talking about the Canadian Football League here in Hour 1, the Canadian Hour on Game Plus TV, primarily because we are in the meat of the season. Final Four weekend, which nobody calls it that but me, division finals, and then Grey Cup next week. And the reason I bring that up is Ron's watching in Calgary. He says, sorry, Dinwiddie will fail horribly. Here's the thing about Ryan Dinwiddie. He'll love you saying that. He'll love hearing that. Because that's the kind of stuff that fires him up. Which, by the way, I sent a note to his agent this morning. Seeing if we can get dinner on the show tomorrow. So be prepared for that. He's been on before. I am not sure if that's going to happen. I don't even know who the PR person is in Ottawa anymore. It used to be Chris Hoffley. Somebody want to help me out there in the nation's capital? Ding-a-ling. I don't even know who the prime minister is anymore. I'm joking. I know it's Carney. Just seeing what's up in the YouTube chat. Jeff in Toronto says, John Tavares, fellow Portuguese Canadian. Haha. We had a Portuguese player on the hockey team, one of the hockey teams I was with, and we were on a long road trip, and we'd run out of movies. So we were playing my George Strait live from the Astrodome DVD. Anybody got that? We were out of movies. We'd played them all. Miracle, Old School, all those movies of that era. So we were playing my George Strait DVD. Andrew D'Souza, who coincidentally I think was from Toronto, Portuguese, I think, came to the front of the bus. He's like, can you guys take that off? Guys are getting a headache. Bring your own movies then. Jeff the Stamps fan says, it's Art Carney. Isn't it Mark Carney? I don't know. Arlen Bruce, the two-time Grey Cup champion, writes in. He says, great show as always. Who is your MVP? Bo Levi or number 12, Nathan Rourke? Number 12 has convinced me. It's Bo Levi, and I don't even like the guy, as you know. But nobody would vote for him last year because his team missed the playoffs. So he's like, oh, yeah? And he led the league in passing last season. Really? Okay. I'll lead the league in passing and finish in first place and get a first-round bye. That's what he did. Kirkin Tarana writes in, he says, Rod, it's official. Kevin the Medium lives in that off-white Lions sweater. It was white when he started. That's what you need to know. It's one of my favorite stories ever. And if you find it arrogant, then I'm arrogant. Kevin at the Grey Cup last year in Vancouver carried a Lou Pasaglia jersey around with him all week, just hoping to run into Lou Pasaglia. And we did. It's his favorite all-time Lion. And we ran into him at the Legends Luncheon. And as Louis signing, he goes, are you sitting with Rod Pedersen? Kevin's like, no way. Sweet Lou. Frankly, I'm shocked that he even knew who I was. Oh, hang on. It has not been the best news day. Police in a Dallas suburb say 24-year-old Dallas Cowboys defensive end Marshawn Neeland was found dead of an apparent suicide after evading authorities in his vehicle and fleeing the scene of an accident on foot. Frisco police say they are investigating the possible suicide. They have since sent out a statement. I just saw it on Adam Schefter's Instagram. They say Nealon didn't stop for Texas Department of Public Safety troopers in a chase that was joined by Frisco police. Authorities lost sight of the vehicle before locating it minutes later. During the search after Nealon fled, officers received word that Nealon had shown suicidal indications. He was found dead early of a self-inflicted gunshot wound. Yeah. As I say, sitting here just trying to have fun for 2 hours because there's a lot of people out there dealing with a lot of heavy stuff. Yeah, that was just this. Well, his death occurred, I think, 10:37 last night. Details of which are coming in more and more this morning as we go. Yeah. Jeff in Toronto says he scored a touchdown Monday night. There's really nothing else to say about this. There's just nothing else to say about this. Yeah, Rob is watching in the Queen City. He writes in, he says, prayers to the Nealon family. Terrible. I've said it many, many times. This didn't occur while I came on the air today. I have had news break while I was on the air. The Humboldt Broncos tragedy, literally, the crash occurred while I was on the air. It's just very difficult to process that kind of stuff as it happens. And then even this, sports supposed to be happy. At least it is to me. But when something like this happens, tragedy for everybody. Ron in Calgary writing in regarding the division finals. And the picks are for Pump Jacks Cathedral, Pump Jacks Weyburn. Come early, stay late at the place where friends meet. I'll tell you again, since it's just me, you get my stories here. Ron in Calgary says Riders win, Montreal wins. So they're predicting a Rough Riders, Alouettes Grey Cup. I say if you're going to Pump Jacks, have the coconut shrimp because it is succulent. And I very rarely advocate to order seafood on the prairies, just like I say don't order beef by the ocean. Reminds me of the 2000 Halifax Memorial Cup. 2 a.m. I'm having a roast beef sub in downtown Halifax where all the streets go like this. 2 a.m. roast beef sub. Puked it all up. I said, the roast beef must be bad. I'm with Craig Adam, global TV sports reporter. He's like, couldn't have been the 13 Coors Light you just had. Don't. That was the least salacious of the things that went on that week during Memorial Cup in Halifax in 2000. Okay, I don't understand. We're going to have to get to the bottom of this. Maybe I'll send a text out to my Winnipeg people or those that, it's not that I don't trust Jeff the Stamps fan, but you usually need to get two sources to confirm a story. Kirk in Toronto writes in, he says, Steve Simmons headline in the Toronto Sun today, get O'Shea now. Was that the headline? Really? Shouldn't be that hard. Should have it wrapped up by supper time, I would think. Jeff the Stamps fan is saying that Mike O'Shea is not under contract for next season with anybody, let alone the Winnipeg Blue Bombers. So, yeah. Jeff the Stamps fan says, true, Rod, you can't really get good seafood in Calgary. Hey, that's why you're watching the show.
Hiring a video company shouldn't be complicated. Click, pay, Done. Skycron.com/Regina.
You have a vision, a big idea. But how do you turn ambition into absolute impact? It starts with connection. Booking top-tier speakers and executing seamless events. That's the EMJ difference. We position your brand where it belongs, Guy, through powerful advertising, strategic media, and promotion that drives results. At EMJ Marketing, we don't just promote, we partner. Your growth, our mission.
This is a test pattern. This is what happens when your video company screws up. You don't want your clients to see a screw-up. Hire a company that only does video, so it won't screw up. Then, people who give you money will see less of these and more of you. Skycron.com/live.
You have a vision, a big idea. But how do you turn ambition into absolute impact? It starts with connection. Booking top-tier speakers and executing seamless events. That's the EMJ difference. We position your brand where it belongs, Guy, through powerful advertising, strategic media, and promotion that drives results. At EMJ Marketing, we don't just promote, we partner. Your growth, our mission.
Business owners and marketers. Okay, we know you think we're pretty cool. That's why we want you to share in the coolness factor. Partner with the Rod Pedersen Show and market your business every weekday to sports lovers just like yourself. Take advantage of our many cost-effective commercial and promotional opportunities. Tell the world about your business. Yes, the world. Thanks to Game Plus TV and the Rod Pedersen Digital Network. Contact us today and find out how you can be a part of Canada's fastest-growing sports talk show, The Rod Pedersen Show.
Sports fans, daytime sports talk gets a whole lot better weekdays at noon Eastern with the Rod Pedersen Show. Talking sports daily with A-list guests, and the best part is, you can always join the discussion as we're the most interactive talk show on television. Broadcasting from coast to coast from the biggest events like Super Bowl, Stanley Cup Final, Grey Cup, and more. There's nothing like it in the game today. The Rod Pedersen Show, daily at noon Eastern and 10 p.m. Pacific on Game Plus Network.
Hiring a video company shouldn't be complicated. Click, pay, done. Skycron.com/Regina.
How about that?
It's going fast. It's a Thursday. Welcome to the RP Show, everybody, as we welcome in a brand new set of viewers here on the Silver State Sports and Entertainment Network. And we continue along on the Game Plus Television Network with Hour 2. Hello, everybody across Canada and 32 U.S. states. Coming up today, our interview segment features Mike Kelly, the former quarterbacks coach of the Philadelphia Eagles, head coach of the CFL's Winnipeg Blue Bombers, and now the commissioner of the reincarnated Continental Football League. That is all coming up in this program today. But as we always do, the Quick Six show topics, and there is sad news on this Thursday. It started emanating out early on this morning. It's the first point. Police in a Dallas suburb say 24-year-old Dallas Cowboys defensive end Marshawn Nealon was found dead of an apparent suicide after evading authorities in his vehicle and fleeing the scene of an accident on foot. Frisco police say they are investigating the possible suicide. Nealon's death came just days after he recovered a blocked punt in the end zone, and the Monday Night Football lost 27-17 to the Arizona Cardinals. Nealon was in his second season with the Cowboys. He was a 2024 second-round draft pick out of Western Michigan. Condolences to his family, his friends. I saw the statement from the NFL recognizing his family, his girlfriend, the Cowboys, obviously. It's just a very, very sad story. The details emerging. This happened less than 24 hours ago. Don't know what to say. As I was putting the story in my script here from the Associated Press, it had inserted there If you're considering suicide, please call blah, 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 blah. I should actually put the number in there. As a professional mental health and addiction recovery coach, I deal with this stuff all the time, and it's terrible. If you are considering suicide or needs help, the National Suicide and Crisis Lifeline in the U.S. is available by calling or texting 988. Also an online chat at 988lifeline.org. It's not the way you want to start a show, you know what I mean? But I was just talking to my 12-step sponsor, Bob, this morning, and he didn't say it today, but he said it over the years. One thing about suicide, it's permanent. And that's no joke. So, yeah, again, apologies to the family and friends and the Dallas Cowboys and everybody associated with Marshawn Nealon. It is Thursday night, Week 10 kicking off tonight. The Las Vegas Raiders will be in Denver taking on the AFC West leading Broncos. There's not a lot here in drama other than this. The 2-6 Raiders look to snap a 2-game slide coming off an overtime loss to Jacksonville. Meanwhile, the 7-2 Broncos have won 6 in a row. That's the focus of the game tonight. Will the Raiders snap this Broncos hot streak? That's really all that it is right now. So the Raiders are playing for. It is the Raiders regarded as one of the biggest disappointments in the NFL this season. Which reminds me, I'm going to get to the Jets here right away. If it's not the Raiders, who else is it? We didn't expect anything out of the New York Jets. We never do. I expected this out of the Dallas Cowboys at 3-5-1, which this is point 1B. Following the NFL's trade deadline day on Tuesday, the New York Jets are undergoing a major rebuild after trading stars Sauce Gardner and Quinnen Williams. Gardner was sent to Indy on Tuesday. As you all know, Williams was dealt to Dallas. The trades brought in first-round draft picks for 2026 and 2027, signaling a long-term strategy. Jets coach Aaron Glenn and general manager Darren Muji emphasized patience and opportunity. And for the Jets fans, of which there are some that watch this show, I can't believe they have any fans at all, let alone ones that watch this show. Shout out Matthew Barnaby. Shout out Ryan in upstate New York. But as we sift through all of this, a lot of the other NFL shows, which I won't say better than ours, I'll just say other shows, they've kind of been within 24 hours of the trade deadline or even Tuesday night. We're breaking this down, what this means for teams. But I heard the clip from the Jets coach, Aaron Glenn. Heard it this morning while out for my run, listening to Mike Florio. And I guess Aaron Glenn said, we want a team that'll make the Jets fans proud. And I thought, am I making too much of this? Because my first thought went to, what does that make the current players feel like? I know what it makes them feel like. Caca. And Aaron Glenn's not doing or saying anything wrong. But it reminds me of a lot of stories from my past. I remember our Christmas party one time. You'll like these old broadcasting stories, producer Corey. We had a radio station. We had 3 under our roof. And the owner of all 3 radio stations got up. 2 of them were doing very well in the ratings, and one was always last place. And the owner of the radio station gets up and says, well, Merry Christmas, everybody. From what I'm told, the 2 stations are doing real well, and they're the Cleveland Browns of radio. Keep fighting, guys. One guy had to be held back. He was going to kick the crap out of him, and another guy quit. Yeah, you aren't a team that the fans can be proud of, but you still have fans. And how does that make I don't feel like that's a real leadership thing to say from Aaron Glenn, but maybe I'm just triggered. Jeff in Toronto writes and he says, the Commanders, a disappointing season. And I was just going to say, but your quarterback's hurt, Jaden Daniels. And he says, I know Daniels is banged up, but they weren't playing that well with him in the lineup too. Well, that really does bring up a far bigger topic in terms of, was last year a fluke? Because I don't want to believe in flukes. There's a segment of us in that mental health woo-woo recovery world that says there are no flukes. We saw you did it. But it's a little like the Calgary Flames last year. 96 points. Yeah, they didn't make the playoffs, but they tied a record for having the most points not to make the playoffs. Was it a fluke? So Maybe the Commanders, yes. But again, they've had quarterback injury issues. Vegas cannot say that. 902-518-3033 is the text line, and here we are spending 6 minutes on NFL. Let me just, before we move to hockey, the poll question is this. Arizona Cardinals, I can't believe they're even talking about this, but there is talk of the Cardinals moving on from Kyler Murray. Oh, because they went into Dallas on Monday night and smacked around the Cowboys by 10 to snap a 5-game losing streak. Anybody can beat the Dallas Cowboys. But Kyler Murray's out for at least 4 games with a foot injury. And our poll question today for EMJ Marketing, which, by the way, from impactful speakers to strategic marketing, EMJ Marketing is your all-in-one solution. Visit them at emjmarketing.com. Would you acquire Kyler Murray if you were an NFL team, if you were an NFL GM? And I'm not talking about fantasy. I'm talking about you're a GM of an NFL team. Would you acquire this guy? A whole lot of comments came in earlier when we brought it up, but I moved on so fast as we go through the quick 6 show topics. I didn't read that many of them. We all like Kyler Murray. Murray is a cute guy. He had a great story coming out of college. Could have played baseball, Major League Baseball, too. Number 1 overall pick in 2019, but he's never been that guy. The vote for me is no. And listen, I'm the king of being immature. Trust me. It took me a very long time to grow up. Kyler Murray's still going through that. I just remember at the start of last season, his 6th in the NFL, saying, I'm ready to lead the Cardinals. Awesome, Cotter. What were you doing the last 5 years? So I wouldn't be acquiring him. And if I was a team in the need of a quarterback, I would just keep tanking and take a chance on the guys available in this year's draft, which there's always good ones. You're getting the best quarterback coming out of college football. Some draft classes are better than others. And I would like to get into that with Coach Mike Kelly. He will be our guest coming up in the next segment. Wow. Getting hung up on a lot of NFL topics here, but I get it. Point 2, the NHL now has a 900-goal club. I could talk for an hour about this. Charter member, Alex Ovechkin, of course. The Great 8 pushed his record total of goals to a new level Wednesday night, scoring against the St. Louis Blues to reach number 900. And, of course, in typical Ovi style, he does it with flair on a backhand, falling down on a rebound from a Jacob Chikrin shot. I happened to be watching the game. The bench cleared to celebrate the 40-year-old's accomplishment while Blues goalie Jordan Binnington tucked the milestone puck into his pants. We had some fun with this earlier in hour 1. In that, 2 questions out of this. There ain't no way I'm going to get to all 6 topics here, but that's okay. I'll finish them up later. Number 1, should Jordan Binnington be disciplined for trying to steal the puck? Now, the goalie for St. Louis, after Ovechkin's 900th career goal, nobody scored more in NHL history. Everybody's going crazy in the corner with Ovi. Binnington picks up the puck, puts it in his pants. As usual, I'm watching the game with no sound up. I didn't need to listen to the commentary to know what was going on because I've been there a lot of times. I was a goalie. Once a goalie, always a goalie. And sometimes when the puck gets caught in your gear. I've never stolen a puck, but that's not to say I wouldn't. I think the bigger question here is, what was he going to do with it? What was he going to do with it? It's kind of just a fun thing. No, I don't think he should be disciplined. But we had a guy on our team by the name of Kyle Calder. I don't know if he hit 1,000 NHL games. I'd have to look it up. I was just with him in Chicago in January. He played for the Blackhawks, played for the LA Kings, and he would regularly go pick up the puck, like in a scrum, after the whistle, and then he'd just put it in his glove and go sit and wait for somebody to ask for it. It was hilarious. What? Who doesn't like screwing around with refs and linesmen? The guys would be skating around. Have you seen the puck? Have you got the puck? It's kind of what happened last night. But the more fun question out of that is, will Alex Ovechkin hit 1,000 goals? I didn't think he was going to get 894. But probably 2 seasons before he did, I said to Alan May, Capitals television analyst, very dear friend of mine, do you think Ovi's going to hit it? He's like, oh, yeah. And then he did. Really caught fire, as you know, last year. And I feel like texting Alan today and saying, do you think he'll hit 1,000? But I can't keep running to Alan May every time I got a question. What else do we have here? Jeff the Stamps fan writes in. He says, Kyler Murray is a great talent, but poor work ethic. No one wants that at a high salary. Yeah, I think he should have stuck with baseball, to be honest. But here's me telling somebody else how to live their life. 902-518-3033 is a text line for Western Dodge. Are you ready for a new ride? Head to Western Dodge, where the deals are real and the service is legendary. The first poll question, the main one, is the Kyler Murray thing. Would you trade for Kyler Murray? And like over 90% of you are saying, no, you wouldn't. The secondary poll question, and it is 11 minutes after the hour right now. I'm just pointing that out for those that observe. I put it on Instagram. Will Ovi hit 1,000 goals? You can follow us there at The Rod Pedersen Show. 56% saying no, he won't hit 1,000 goals. I think more importantly, 44% of you saying yes, he will. 44% of respondents thinking Alex Ovechkin will hit 1,000 goals. Just remember that he is 40. But you're only as old as you feel. Age is but a number. And yes, he's got white hair and he looks like a beer league rec player at 11 at night. But he's not. He's the greatest goal scorer the NHL has ever seen. That's a fact. And the exuberance with which he celebrates every goal he scores. The 900th goal celebration was just like his first. Like Elton John, every time he sings Crocodile Rock, he stands on the bench at the piano. Ta-da! That's a guy that loves his craft. I don't think Alex Ovechkin's going anywhere anytime soon. So a couple of 50-goal seasons, a couple 33-goal seasons, he's hitting it. I've talked myself into thinking, yes, he's going to hit it. An hour ago, I said no. Scott writes in on the Western Dodge text line, 902-518-3033. He says, Kyle Calder, a great dude. He says, are you buying the Cowboys? Will this fix things? What, getting Quinnen Williams and Wilson the linebacker? No. I'm glad you asked, though. As you notice, I'm wearing Arizona Cardinals stuff. No, the Cowboys are my team, but no, it's not fixing it. And, we could, as Mike Kelly gets up to join us in just a couple moments' time, former Eagles quarterbacks coach, CFL head coach, and now the commissioner of the Continental Football League. Listen, I know you're not a Cowboys fan, Scott, but if you are watching it for as long as I have, decades, and you see what we have now, the Dallas Cowboys should win every game they play. They should win every game they play, but for a variety of reasons, they don't. Dak plays like junk one game. CeeDee Lamb drops 3 passes in the second half another game, like the season opener in Philadelphia, which we should have won. You trade Micah Parsons because your owners are raging narcissists that can't handle being questioned by anybody. And now here we are with the second worst defense in the NFL, and he's sitting dancing around trying to explain why I traded Micah when we all know why I traded Micah. It had nothing to do with talent. Were you trying to get me wound up, Scott? Because it worked. Am I buying the Cowboys? You got your general manager and owner saying he's more focused on the price of oil than the football team, which is very evident that is the fact. He's too busy starring in Landman and doing interviews. Am I buying them? With what? Jeff the Stamps fan says Ovechkin is the second best Russian player ever. I would say he's the best. Best goalie being Vladislav Tretiak, who never played a game in the National Hockey League, and what a shame. We'll be coming right back with Coach Mike Kelly. I feel like we got a lot to talk with Coach Kelly about. You're watching the program here on the Silver State Sports and Entertainment Network across Nevada and the Game Plus TV network.
Hiring a video company shouldn't be complicated. Click, pay, done. Skycron.com/Regina.
Business owners and marketers. Okay, we know you think we're pretty cool. That's why we want you to share in the coolness factor. Partner with the Rod Pedersen Show and market your business every weekday to sports lovers just like yourself. Take advantage of our many cost-effective commercial and promotional opportunities. Tell the world about your business. Yes, the world. Thanks to Game Plus TV and the Rod Pedersen Digital Network. Contact us today and find out how you can be a part of Canada's fastest-growing sports talk show, The Rod Pedersen Show.
Sports fans, daytime sports talk gets a whole lot better weekdays at noon Eastern with the Rod Pedersen Show. Talking sports daily with A-list guests, and the best part is you can always join the discussion as we're the most interactive talk show on television. Broadcasting from coast to coast from the biggest events like Super Bowl, Stanley Cup Final, Grey Cup, and more. There's nothing like it in the game today. The Rod Pedersen Show, daily at noon Eastern and 10 p.m. Pacific on Game Plus Network.
Business owners and marketers. Okay, we know you think we're pretty cool. That's why we want you to share in the coolness factor. Partner with the Rod Pedersen Show and market your business every weekday to sports lovers just like yourself. Take advantage of our many cost-effective commercial and promotional opportunities. Tell the world about your business. Yes, the world. Thanks to Game Plus TV and the Rod Pedersen Digital Network. Contact us today and find out how you can be a part of Canada's fastest-growing sports talk show, The Rod Pedersen Show.
You have a vision, a big idea, but how do you turn ambition into absolute impact? It starts with connection. Booking top-tier speakers and executing seamless events. That's the EMJ difference. We position your brand where it belongs, Guy, through powerful advertising, strategic media, and promotion that drives results. At EMJ Marketing, we don't just promote your rebel, we partner. Your growth, our mission.
This is a test pattern. This is what happens when your video company screws up. You don't want your clients to see a screw up. Hire a company that only does video, so it won't screw up. Then, people who give you money will see less of these and more of you. Skycron.com/live. Hiring a video company shouldn't be complicated. Click, pay, done. Skycron.com/Regina.
RP Show continues. We're brought to you in part by CoolBet. Claim your welcome bet bonus up to $200 with a promo code RP200 at coolbet.com. Canadian viewers only. Sorry. Hey, Coach Mike Kelly. Wait. Commissioner Mike.
How you doing, friend?
I gotta get used to that. Commish.
You and I are always going to just be Mike and Rod. Okay, can we just keep it like that? That's good.
Okay. Yeah. Sounds good, Coach. Well, how about Coach? I appreciate that, Mike.
Yeah, there you go.
Listen. We're going to get to the Continental Football League because you're the commissioner, and I'm seeing all this bold moves made by the Continental Football League, and I'll get to that. Do you have any time for anything other than that in football now as the commissioner? Like, what are you following right now the most besides your own league?
Well, this is taking up quite a bit of time, but this is just rewarding work for me. I feel like it's a culmination of my entire career, everything that I've drawn on. I'm focusing into this, and I've got new energy. I'm still working with the company where I help families find athletic scholarship funding, but I'm going to retire from them on January 31st. They already know that, and then I'll be completely engulfed in this, and I'm completely engulfed right now. I just have to stop at night and make phone calls. But by the time we get to the end of January, I'll be done with that and just focusing on this league because I'm having a blast. This is so much fun, and it's football, and that's I can kid myself all I want. I'm a football guy, and that's all I'm going to be.
Well, we got 20 minutes here with all levels of football to get to, but I'll say this as the commissioner of a pro league now, and I want to get to the CFL division finals. I want to get to Ryan Dinwiddie going to Ottawa, and I want to get to the NFL, but it looks like you're down some weight. And while I could think you might be on the treadmill, I would think you don't have time to eat. I feel like you now have a job. You don't have time to eat. You look great, but you're down some weight, aren't you? You're down some weight.
I've taken off probably 15 or so. But, you're down here in Florida. When you live in Florida, if you don't get outside, there's something wrong with you. There really is. I mean, and I can't help myself but to get outside. And I'm always moving, whether I'm working in the yard or I'm going on bike rides, going to the beach, long walks, just to be outside all the time. My body feels completely different. I'm going to go up to Winnipeg the day after Christmas, and I'll probably stay all the way through January. People look at me and go, "Wait a minute, now that's reverse. What are you doing?" But when I'm up in the cold, my body just doesn't feel the same. And when I was a younger kid, I didn't understand why people wanted to come into this kind of climate as they got older, but I understand it a whole lot better now. The knees and the ankle and the shoulder, all of it, all feel better than it used to.
Everybody here in Florida is happy. It looks great. But here's the thing, everybody that's not in Florida, we got alligators, we got mosquitoes the size of birds. We got stay out. Don't come here. Stay out.
One of my daughters lives outside of Orlando, and I'll post something about where I live now, which is called the sailfish capital of the world. And I'll post something, and she'll immediately respond, "What are you doing? Don't let people know about this place. Stop doing that." And that's kind of the mindset here.
Well, let's take care of business.
Okay.
Before we get to the CFL, Continental Football League. So I see this headline. You actually sent me a thing. I clicked on it. It wouldn't open. Continental Football League taking bold strategy. What's the latest news with your, I don't want to say fledgling, I want to say the rebirthed Continental Football League?
Yeah, well, we've got 3 teams named right now. We're going to name 2 more next week. And the interest that we're getting is phenomenal because people like the platform. They like the structure of what we're doing, and that whole bold moves things. I told you the last time I talked to you how impressed I was with what Mike Morreale did with the Canadian Elite Football or Basketball League, and I've been to several of their games, and in every game I went to, nobody left at the end of the game. Nobody was leaving early. They stayed there because they had a modified scoring system that kept teams in the game. So there was never any real blowouts. And it got me thinking. And and then as we've been doing more research, and this has been going on for well over a year. I've been talking with people about this, and I was kind of advising and giving ideas, and then it started to grow, and then we kind of grasped onto this. But we want to. There's a unserved niche out there. Okay, everybody knows. I'm sure a lot of Canadians know also, but down in the States here, in Division One, they got that transfer portal now, and you've got all these kids that have pie in the sky ideas that they can go play at another level. They're a really good player at one level. They think that they're going to get a big payday and go to another, and 43% of them end up not going anywhere. They end up losing their scholarships. They don't have any place to play. They don't know what to do. So this is going to be where they can go now. So the 50-man roster that we're going to have, 25 of those 50 men to go to camp. We're going to dress 36 on game day with 4 in reserve. The 50-man camp roster, 25 of them have to be between the ages of 18 and 25. This is an opportunity league. We want to make sure that these are young kids that are getting a chance to develop and get seen. And I think what we're doing, we're checking out now with our lawyers have it looking at it, is that the way we've structured how these kids will get paid is that I don't think it's going to affect their name, image, and likeness. So that doesn't affect their eligibility. I see basketball signing guys out of the NBA G League and they're going into the NCAA. I don't think we're going to be affected. And so these kids now can come play here, get another season on tape, and then go back to the NCAA. And then there's other ones that we're targeting the NFL and the CFL that were your your developmental league. And you see some guys, and if we can get 3 to 5 guys each year to sign with a CFL or an NFL club, that's what we're going to do. We're looking to help out kids that are lost and that didn't have the opportunity to be seen. Now, the other thing was, I talked about extensively is that I've worked in player personnel and pro personnel in both the CFL and the NFL. And there's guys on both sides that they don't know how to evaluate the other. They just can't do it. And so going back to the Canadian Elite Basketball League, I said, let's change the fourth quarter. Let's do something really fun that's going to make people say, oh, we got to see this. This is way different. So we're having the Continental shift. And in the fourth quarter, the clock's going to go to 20 seconds. We're going to have unlimited motion. Guys on the line of scrimmage can move laterally. Guys in the backfield can attack the line of scrimmage. We're going to go from 4 downs to 3. We're going to have the Rouge. The punter's going to be live. And we're going to play a modified CFL quarter in the fourth, and there's no more that US football where the last 2 minutes you're watching guys kneel down and get mad at each other or love each other up, one of the two. Now they have to play. They have to keep playing. And so it's going to give scouts an opportunity to see a kid's skill sets, not only in NFL type rules, but also in CFL type rules, and just looking to create as much opportunity for young guys as we can. So it's different. Nobody's done this before, and we think we're onto something. And the amount of interest that we're getting is insane, and including across the border. In Canada, we've been contacted, and so and the original Continental Football League had teams in Montreal, Toronto, and Victoria. So this isn't anything that is so different. It's just a rebooting, but the Continental shift is going to give people something else to look at.
Wow. Well, like I say, anything you need to get the word out, you have an open floor, open mic on my show to do it. Jeff, the Stamps fan, writes in, he says, as long as you're not competing against the CFL, I'm all for it, and we should make the distinction. You're not, right?
No, we're not even thinking about that. I want people to think of AA minor league baseball. These are kids that have talent, and they just need to grow and to keep playing. And we're not competing against the NFL. We're not competing against the CFL. That's not even in our realm of thinking. We're looking to supply those leagues with players that otherwise weren't seen, and this gives them the opportunity then to get that chance. And so this is we have divisional pods, if you will, so that our travel, our cost is way down. There's no flying all across the country and thinking we're something that we're not. They're going to be on buses, and we want to create local rivalries and play within your division, and then whatever we end up with, 4-4 or 5-5, 1 and 2 will play each other for the divisional championship, and then the winner of each division will play in a championship game, and that'll be really the only distance involved in travel costs. The rest of the time, it's going to be minimum. We're not going out there and saying, oh, we're going to fly all across the country and try to get into these stadiums that seat 60,000. We're looking at stadiums that are 7,500 to 12,000 people, and like Clark Stadium in Edmonton would be a perfect spot. Yeah, would be a perfect spot for us. Okay, that type of venue, where we're going into areas where most cities are underserved. Now, some of them, like we're in San Antonio, but there's so much bedroom communities out and around it. That's where we're really going to be playing. But we're reviving the name, the San Antonio Toros, who played in the very last championship game of the Continental Football League in 1969 against the Indianapolis Capitals. Well, wouldn't you know, as soon as we mention or announce that the San Antonio Toros are coming back, we start getting interest from people in Indianapolis. So it's a revival, and we want that hometown feel, inexpensive to take a family to a game and get local heroes. We want the kids to wear their team's favorite player's jersey to school rather than some mythical player that they only ever see on television on Sundays. We want them to go to school with a guy that they shook their hand with and walked off the field with them, the night that they played. So a little different approach, but we think it's a niche that hasn't been addressed. And if it has been addressed, it hadn't been addressed properly. And I'm drawing off all my experience, and not only from the NFL and the CFL, but also the original XFL. I still have all that, how that was structured and how all that started. And we had a great thing going in Orlando. And so I'm just drawing off of everything. And and it's fallen into place.
It's a little similar to what we do here. We work for and with enough good guys and bad guys. We know what to do. We know what not to do. But for those that just turned the TV on, this is the commissioner of the Continental Football League, Mike Kelly. If you don't mind, I got to swing it to our passion, the Canadian Football League. Who's winning the division finals this weekend? Montreal at Hamilton and BC at Saskatchewan.
Oh, these are going to be good games. These are going to be good games, and I don't know. Again, it's always going to go to quarterback play. It's always going to do that. And you've got 4 quarterbacks that are playing pretty well right now. But I like Hamilton, but there's something about Montreal that they just keep finding ways to win. And I coached Jason Moss, and I was with Danny Machocha in Edmonton, and so I think I'm gonna lean towards Montreal, BC, and that's that's what I'm thinking.
You trying to rile them up and sass? They love you over there, Coach. What are you doing?
Hey, now look, Trevor is he and I are both have degrees from Edinburgh University of Pennsylvania. So I do love the Rough Riders. I got to tell you, those were some of the best days of my life when Winnipeg and Saskatchewan would play. No matter which era that I experienced it with, but because that rivalry is so much fun. But I don't know. I just, that's just my feel right now.
I'm trying to get your goat. Yeah, pick whoever you want. I don't care. I'm just trying to get your goat. I really want to know what Dunnigan says, because he picks the Grey Cup combatants before the season ever even kicks off. That guy's a savant when it comes to this stuff, Matt Dunnigan. And the other thing here, we got about 5 minutes left. Ryan Dinwiddie bolts Toronto for Ottawa to be GM, coach, and offensive coordinator. And I'm sitting here because Jones, listen, I love Chris Jones. I do. He tried to do that in Edmonton. They tell me you can't do that anymore, but he's going to try it.
I tried to do it in Winnipeg. It's too hard. You can't do it. You don't have enough time. And, when you're an offensive coordinator, you are completely and totally engulfed in that offense. And you're, for me anyways, I was always thinking 2 and 3 plays ahead. And then when you're trying to do that as the head coach and also as the GM, you're getting pulled away from that focus like that. And you get yourself spread too thin. And I can't post everything that I want to post anymore because of this position and title. But, don't let your ego overwhelm you. That's one of the biggest lessons that I learned, is that I thought I could do it all, and that I'd be able to organize my time and compartmentalize. But when you get in that head coach's seat, there's arrows that come over the bow that you don't even know where they're coming from, and you gotta handle it. And now you're taken away from the other things that you have to do. And look, I know pinball. I know John Murphy. Murph worked with me. I'm sure that Ryan just felt like he can do all this, and I wish him the best. But it didn't work for me. Didn't work for Chris Jones. We'll see what happens here.
Did you coach Dinwiddie?
I cut him. He was in Winnipeg when I came in there. And we had traded for Stefan LaFleurs, and that was a hard decision. But we we were so out of whack with the salary cap when I took over there that some of the decisions that we had to make were just financial, and that's just the reality of it. And I think he and Stefan LaForce would have been a pretty good 1-2, but I also wanted to have somebody that could change the pace a little bit and give a little different look to the defense, and that didn't work out for me either. As we had another player, there's no need for me to say his name, but we had a special package for him, kind of changed the pace of the game, the look of it, how we were attacking, and it just didn't work out. And then once Stefan got injured, then we went with Michael Bishop, and he ended up playing really well for us actually down the stretch. But I know Ryan well, and I haven't talked to him in a long time. But I ended up cutting him.
Yeah, well, hey, it happens. He's cutting a lot of players. It's the circle of life, And we had him in Sask. I love him. I'm pulling for him. You kind of nailed it. If anybody thinks he could do it, it would be Dinner. So we'll see. But this is a guy who's been through the fire. His very first pro start happened to be a Grey Cup. No big deal.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like he just he's the captain of taking on big things. I wish him well. He won 2 Grey Cups in Toronto, and we wish him well. We got about 30 seconds left, Coach. So you're going to Grey Cup?
Okay. No, I got so much going on with this Continental League right now. Like I said, next week we're going to announce 2 more teams, and I'd love to go up, but I'm not. I'll be up in Winnipeg the day after Christmas, though. Yeah. So
okay.
I'd love to be there, but not this year.
Hey, it's all good. We'll be watching. Coach, great. Yep. Thanks for coming on. We covered it all. Enjoy the ball, man. Keep in touch.
Okay, man. Always a pleasure to see you. Thank you.
Commissioner Mike Kelly joining us from Stuart, Florida, the sailfish capital of the world. I learn something new all the time. We'll be right back here on the Silver State Sports and Entertainment Network and Game Plus TV.
You have a vision, a big idea. But how do you turn ambition into absolute impact? It starts with connection. Booking top-tier speakers and executing seamless events. That's the EMJ difference. We position your brand where it belongs, Guy, through powerful advertising, strategic media, and promotion that drives results. At EMJ Marketing, we don't just promote, we partner. Your growth, our mission.
This is a test pattern. This is what happens when your video company screws up. You don't want your clients to see a screw-up. Hire a company that only does video, so it won't screw up. Then, people who give you money will see less of these and more of you. Skycron.com/live.
Business owners and marketers. Okay, we know you think we're pretty cool. That's why we want you to share in the coolness factor. Partner with the Rod Pedersen Show and market your business every weekday to sports lovers just like yourself. Take advantage of our many cost-effective commercial and promotional opportunities. Tell the world about your business. Yes, the world. Thanks to Game Plus TV and the Rod Pedersen Digital Network. Contact us today and find out how you can be a part of Canada's fastest-growing sports talk show, The Rod Pedersen Show.
Sports fans, daytime sports talk gets a whole lot better weekdays at noon Eastern with the Rod Pedersen Show. Talking sports daily with A-list guests, and the best part is, you can always join the discussion as we're the most interactive talk show on television. Broadcasting from coast to coast from the biggest events like Super Bowl, Stanley Cup Final, Grey Cup, and more, there's nothing like it in the game today. The Rod Pedersen Show, daily at noon Eastern and 10 p.m. Pacific on Game Plus Network.
This is a test pattern. This is what happens when your video company screws up. You don't want your clients to see a screw-up. Hire a company that only does video, so it won't screw up. Then, people who give you money will see less of these and more of you. Skycron.com/live.
Business owners and marketers. Okay, we know you think we're pretty cool. That's why we want you to share in the coolness factor. Partner with the Rod Pedersen Show and market your business every weekday to sports lovers just like yourself. Take advantage of our many cost-effective commercial and promotional opportunities. Tell the world about your business. Yes, the world. Thanks to Game Plus TV and the Rod Pedersen Digital Network. Contact us today and find out how you can be a part of Canada's fastest growing sports talk show, The Rod Pedersen Show.
Hiring a video company shouldn't be complicated. Click, pay, done. Skycron.com/Regina.
All right, welcome back, everybody, here on Game Plus Television and the Silver State Sports and Entertainment Network. Golden Knights home tonight to the Tampa Bay Lightning. If you're going, please enjoy responsibly. Sports update. Actually, hang on. Before we do that, I should ask you, when you're looking for strategic communications with impact, Outlaw Communications delivers, led by Tony Plater. With 35 years of communication and leadership experience, he specializes in media relations training, leadership coaching, and crisis communication strategy. Call him 306-570-6913 or visit tonyplater.com. So the sports update I was talking about, Week 10 of the NFL season kicks off tonight in Denver, where the Broncos are set to host the Las Vegas Raiders. The Broncos enter the contest on a 6-game heater and lead the AFC West with a 7-2 record. Raiders last in the division at 2-6, but have Brock Bowers back from injury. The star tight end had 3 touchdowns and 127 receiving yards in his return to action last week against Jacksonville. Sad news from the NFL. You've all heard by now. Police in a Dallas suburb say 24-year-old Cowboys defensive end Marshawn Nealand was found dead of an apparent suicide after evading authorities in his vehicle and fleeing the scene of an accident on foot. Frisco police say they are investigating the possible suicide. He was found dead, Frisco police in a statement said, from a self-inflicted gunshot wound. He did score a touchdown on Monday Night Football. Toronto Blue Jays have extended a qualifying offer to star infielder Bo Bichette, the team announced today. Bichette has until November 18th to accept the offer. By extending the qualifying offer, the Blue Jays will get a draft pick in compensation if Bichette signs elsewhere in free agency. Bo Bichette coming off a stellar 2025 campaign that saw him bat .311 and finished tied for second in the majors with 181 hits despite missing the final 3 weeks of the regular season with a knee sprain. And the Montreal Canadiens are set to visit the New Jersey Devils tonight in NHL play, a battle of NHL division leaders. The Canadiens top the Atlantic Division with an Eastern Conference best 19 points, one more than the Metropolitan Division leading New Jersey Devils. Ottawa Senators visiting Boston tonight. Boston enters the game as the hottest team in the Eastern Conference with 4 wins in a row. And as part of this NHL slate tonight, which I don't think we have time in this segment, I'll get to the picks next segment. The Vegas Golden Knights are home to the Tampa Bay Lightning tonight in the Fortress. On my picks last night, a pitiful 2 for 5. Thank God I didn't put any money on it. That is your sports update brought to you by Ultimate Fan Zone Sports Store, Moose Jaw. Get your game day gear in store or online at ultimatefanzone.ca. Mayday writes in, Mayday 10, I'm not sure what you're referring to. He says, what if Drake May is the best quarterback in their draft? What are you talking about? You lost me, bro. Yeah. What does Jim Rome say? Have a take and don't suck. Producer Corey tells me we got 2 minutes in this segment. That'll give me time to do this. I'm playing against myself here in the NHL pick. St. Louis Blues at Buffalo tonight, a battle of the 2 worst teams in the NHL. I'm going to take the Sabres to win in the Marina. Minnesota Wild at the Carolina Hurricanes. This should be easy. I had the Wild in my bottom 5 of the NHL yesterday. Go Canes to win. Montreal at New Jersey. I'm loving my Habs. Ottawa at Boston. Bruins will win their 5th in a row. On ESPN tonight, it's Washington at Pittsburgh. Sid versus Ovi. I'm going to take the Penguins to win at home. Philadelphia Flyers at Nashville. Classic rivalry there. Said no one. I'm thinking Philly Flyers on the road. Anaheim Ducks. Are they on a roll at the Dallas Stars? Battle of Sunbelt teams. I'll take Dallas just because they're at home. Tampa Bay at Vegas, definitely going with the Golden Knights because I'm a homer, many have said. And the Florida Panthers, Los Angeles Kings. If there's any heat at all here in South Florida with regards to the hockey teams, it's on the Panthers right now, especially after getting stomped 7-3 in Anaheim the other night. I think the Panthers are going to buckle up and go into LA and win tonight. Feel free to put your picks in the YouTube chat if you want, or text them to me on the 902 text line 902-518-3033 for Western Dodge. It's a little thing we call sport betting. Hasn't really caught on with our betting partners, but it's like sport fishing where you catch the fish and throw it back. We make our picks, but don't put money on it. It's just the safe way to play sport betting. We'll be right back, everybody, with overtime right after this. Silver State Sports Entertainment Network and Game Plus.
This is a test pattern. This is what happens when your video company screws up. You don't want your clients to see a screw-up. Hire a company that only does video, so it won't screw up. Then, people who give you money will see less of these and more of you. Skycron.com/live.
Business owners and marketers. Okay, we know you think we're pretty cool. That's why we want you to share in the coolness factor. Partner with the Rod Pedersen Show and market your business every weekday to sports lovers just like yourself. Take advantage of our many cost-effective commercial and promotional opportunities. Tell the world about your business. Yes, the world. Thanks to Game Plus TV and the Rod Pedersen Digital Network. Contact us today and find out how you can be a part of Canada's fastest-growing sports talk show, The Rod Pedersen Show.
Sports fans, daytime sports talk gets a whole lot better weekdays at noon Eastern with the Rod Pedersen Show. Talking sports daily with A-list guests, and the best part is, you can always join the discussion as we're the most interactive talk show on television. Broadcasting from coast to coast from the biggest events like Super Bowl, Stanley Cup Final, Grey Cup, and more, there's nothing like it in the game today. The Rod Pedersen Show, daily at noon Eastern and 10 p.m. Pacific on Game Plus Network.
Business owners and marketers. Okay, we know you think we're pretty cool. That's why we want you to share in the coolness factor. Partner with the Rod Pedersen Show and market your business every weekday to sports lovers just like yourself. Take advantage of our many cost-effective commercial and promotional opportunities. Tell the world about your business. Yes, the world. Thanks to Game Plus TV and the Rod Pedersen Digital Network. Contact us today and find out how you can be a part of Canada's fastest-growing sports talk show, The Rod Pedersen Show.
You have a vision, a big idea, but how do you turn ambition into absolute impact? It starts with connection. Booking top-tier speakers and executing seamless events. That's the EMJ difference. We position your brand where it belongs, Guy, through powerful advertising, strategic media, and promotion that drives results. At EMJ Marketing, we don't just promote, we partner. Your growth, our mission.
Do you worry about how much someone drinks?
Do you feel angry or depressed most of the time? Do you feel neglected or unloved?
Do you feel that if the drinker loved you, she or he would stop drinking?
If you answered yes to any of these questions, you are not alone.
Not everyone trapped by alcohol is an alcoholic.
Families and friends are suffering too.
Al-Anon and
Alateen can help. Call 1-866-200-0223 or visit alanon.org/help.
Looking for a new ride without the big city pressure? Come to Western Dodge in Moose Jaw, where you'll find an unbeatable lineup of Ram trucks, Jeep SUVs, Dodge Muscle, and Chrysler family rides. With knowledgeable staff, great prices, and that friendly Moose Jaw touch, you'll drive away with confidence. Western Dodge, Big selection, small town service. Visit us today or browse online at westerndodge.ca. All right, welcome back, everybody. It is overtime, brought to you by our friends at Overtime Hockey Lanes in Calgary, Alberta, Canada, where their hometown Flames had a big win last night, 5-1 over the Columbus Blue Jackets. I feel like the Flames might have gone to Overtime Hockey Lanes to learn how to shoot, because that's where people that want to shoot, want to learn, that's where they go. If you're looking for the perfect place to perfect your shot, head to Overtime Hockey Lanes in Calgary, 28th Street Northeast. State-of-the-art shooting lanes, top-notch equipment. They got it all, plus a licensed bar for the parents. Hey, Ryan from upstate New York, I appreciate you hanging in. Cardinal Ryan from the No Credentials Required podcast. With regards to the sports update, Ryan says, Devils Habs is the game of the night right there. Who's going to be the first to 10 wins? Now you got me all fired up for it. I never actually thought about that. That might have been, probably would have been the better poll question today. I put maybe 30 seconds thought into the poll question on a daily basis, and I just happened to be watching SportsCenter this morning or Get Up or one of the shows they're talking about Kyler Murray. I'm like, oh, NFL's hot, don't you know? Let's go with an NFL question. But I still kind of like the fact that we air in Toronto, an NHL market, last I checked on Game Plus, and Vegas, Silver State Sports and Entertainment Network, also NHL market, i.e., what's the game of the night in the NHL? And that would be the winner. You're right, the New Jersey Devils and the Montreal Canadiens. I'll tell anybody that if you haven't figured it out yet, if you're going to watch any team right now in the NHL, sorry, Golden Knights fans and Leaf fans, it's the Montreal Canadiens. They're the youngest team in the league, and they're the most exciting. And by the way, I said on yesterday's show, can anybody tell me an instance where Montreal Canadiens fans have booed their own team? I don't recall it happening. But I don't watch every Habs game. So you tell me if we see it in Toronto, we see it in Edmonton. I was there when the Flames fans did it. Vancouver, they do it all the time. I don't remember Habs fans ever booing their team. I love that fan base. BW from Edmonton writes in, he's a trucker, by the way. He says, I made it to the Energy City. When will the snow come? We say this. One thing that I don't miss is the snow, but I will be seeing it coming up there at the end of November for a week. A couple of speaking engagements. I'm quite excited about that. Former Pittsburgh Penguins, San Jose Sharks, Chicago Blackhawks coach Lorne Mulliken, myself, and Corey Mason. One event in my hometown, Sportsman's Dinner in Milestone, Saskatchewan. We have another one coming up a week after that has not yet been announced yet, the details on that. Anyways, back to the poll questions. The game of the night would be a fun one, but Ryan, while I have you here, what would you vote for this secondary poll question of will Alex Ovechkin hit 1,000 goals? It seems so far-fetched. But 2 years ago, when he was on pace to catch Gretzky for 894, the NHL record, I was voting no all the time that he was going to hit Gretzky. He wasn't on pace to do it. And then he caught fire last year. And now he's at 900. And he's 40. And he doesn't look like he's slowing down nor having any less fun. Thank you, Mayday, by the way. Mayday 10 writes in and says, Google says December 12th, 2024 versus the LA Kings. Habs fans booed the players. Yeah, talk about opening a Pandora's box on something we don't have time to finish today. But Mayday 10 says, no fan base is that loyal. When you play like crap, they let you know. LOL. These days, especially, with the price of tickets, I get it. I mean, I would never do it, but I don't like to tell people how to act either. So, yeah, my dad was always the guy that said, what did he say? Cheer for your own team all you want, but don't ever boo the other team. Now, that's long gone. Everybody boos the other team. We're talking about booing your own team. Yeah. And by the way, that will not be the poll question tomorrow. Can or will Ovi hit 1,000 goals? Maybe next week. Because as we get ready for a Football Friday, we head into Week 10 of the NFL on a Football Friday. We will be discussing tomorrow, tonight's Thursday nighter, Vegas Raiders at Denver. I'm hoping for a good game. And what we're watching for is will the Raiders snap the Broncos win streak? Got a couple of college games tonight. Georgia Southern and Appalachian State. UTSA at South Florida. If you're watching those, please enjoy responsibly. And again, you know, it's kind of funny. I think our audience across Nevada has realized this now. We have a lot of American football guys on the show. Like we had Mike Kelly earlier. We'll have Jim Barker tomorrow. They're American football guys. Mike Kelly from Waterbury, Connecticut. Jim Barker from Los Angeles. But they really love the CFL, as do I. And we'll be talking about the division finals tomorrow. And that'll be the poll question. Who's going to be the winners coming out of the weekend in the Canadian Football League? What else do we have tonight? If you can believe there's only one NBA game tonight, Los Angeles Clippers at the Phoenix Suns. Just one after a very busy night. The one viewer, Rich, always asks me, what's my sports weekend? Well, the Panthers are on the road. I don't care about the Dolphins. The one thing I'm toying with is going to watch the Miami Heat home to the Portland Trailblazers on Saturday night. But it's an 8 o'clock tip-off at the Kaseya Center. And for us old people here on the east coast of Florida, that's a little late. We'll see. Might just take a knee on this sports weekend. We'll see. But, hey, very exciting Football Friday coming up as we look at Week 10 in the NFL. We look at the Canadian Football League Division Finals. We'll get Coach Barker's biggest college football game of the weekend. It's going to be fun tomorrow. Thanks to Coach Mike Kelly today. Thanks to Kevin the Medium for checking in from Mexico. He'll be with us again tomorrow. And most of all, thanks to you for tuning in, because without you, there is no us. We'll see you tomorrow on the Silver State Sports and Entertainment Network. And, of course, right here where we go across Canada daily and 32 U.S. states on the Game Plus Television Network. Be good to each other, but most importantly, be good to yourself.
That